Every month, gameranx puts together the weirdest of the weird in the gaming world, and points and laughs. Sometimes it's too weird to laugh, but that's not the point. Starting off with number 10, the winner of a Mortal Kombat 1 tournament ended up losing money for having competed in the tournament. How so? Well, he was celebrating, and he threw a chair at a lighting fixture which cost $3,000 and destroyed it. The grand prize money for the tournament was not high. It was $565. So that definitely put him in the hole. I don't know why, there seems to be a pretty fair amount of chair hijinks going on lately in tournaments. Got broken chairs and throwing chairs into the audience, that type of stuff. And the head of the tournament ended up tweeting, "If one more person pops off throwing anything, you'll be banned from any event I ever do. This is a final warning to anyone in the future. Do not throw things." Which I think is pretty funny. Also, good advice, just don't throw stuff. You won't end up owing anybody any money, and you won't hurt anybody. Easy. At number 9, a New Jersey man was mad at a man in Florida for being what he said is a bad person online. So, New Jersey man flew from New Jersey to Florida, Jacksonville to be precise, broke in to Florida man's house and beat him with a hammer. Not the way to resolve bad people online. Blocking works a lot better, but you know what they say, when the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, or something like that. Except there's definitely other tools this man had at his disposal. Attacking people in their home in the middle of the night is ridiculous. Especially over gaming stuff. Like, it's a MMORPG these guys were playing called Archage. I don't even know what that is. I've never played Archage. Apparently a lot of other people don't either, because they're shutting it down on June 27th. That's the end of the game entirely because of a declining number of active players, according to the developers. Which makes it even more pathetic to travel that far to attack someone with a hammer. The guy got charged with second-degree attempted murder and armed burglary. Which, yeah, that seems about right, doesn't it? Why with a hammer? If you wanted to actually kill him, why with a hammer? I mean, it sucks, but not a good tool for that. Maybe he didn't want to kill him. Or maybe he was able to get a hammer through airport security. Maybe he didn't, buy a hammer in Florida. I don't know. This is a dumb thing to do. Don't do this. At number 8, it's Body Cam, a unique one on June 7th. This game called Body Cam came out in early access on Steam. It's a multiplayer shooter with a really unique perspective. It's either going to make you feel immersed or make you sick. Your view is seen entirely through a body cam, like the kind that police wear when you're on duty. It's made in Unreal Engine 5. It throws as many cutting-edge effects, shaders, and environments at you that it can, and it makes a pretty good first impression. Pretty dazzling. I mean, just look at it. It can honestly look photorealistic at times, at least if you're not looking at anything that's actually moving. What's more impressive is that it's made by 2 guys. It's maybe a little less impressive than you might think. The maps have a lot of completely unedited Unreal Engine 5 resource pack stuff just around. I wouldn't call it an asset flip, though. There seems to be a lot of passion behind this project, and it's probably the only way 2 guys could have made something like this, buying stuff on the Unreal Store. And also, that's what the Unreal Store is for, so if you're doing something good with it, who cares? I doubt that 2 guys would be able to make environments like this on their own. The actual gameplay can be a little awkward and janky. It can be hard to tell opponents from allies, and if you die at the start of a match, you're going to be sitting around for a long time, but there are some interesting ideas here, like the whole drone piloting thing. It's a game with a ton of potential, and it can look pretty damn amazing at times, but if you're looking for a good multiplayer experience, you might want to hold off. It definitely needs more time in the oven. And also, just to be clear, it's not the crazy-looking body cam game shown off about a year ago. That's called Unrecord. It's a single-player game, and it's got nothing to do with this. These are 2 different unrelated games where you see the world through a fisheye lens. This one's multiplayer, and I think that that's kind of crazy. At number 7, FIFA is going to host an actual Rocket League. They're going to do a full-on World Cup series for it. FIFA basically said it's a major step in their commitment to embrace the entire ecosystem and drive the global growth of football esports. They also said globally at the end of that sentence, which I think is unnecessary because they already said global growth. But whatever. I shouldn't be doing FIFA's copy editor's work for them. Still, it does feel a little weird that Rocket League is what FIFA is choosing and not, one of the many actual football video games. But hey, that's not a bad idea. They're launching teams for different countries. They're going to have it so that you can sign up. They're going to have tournaments to get into these teams. It sounds like a pretty fun thing. And I like that. I like seeing esports done in a professional way that seems to not be a friggin' disaster. Or at least it doesn't seem like it's going to be a friggin' disaster. I'll say that's kind of what makes it weird even. A lot of that stuff turns out to be a friggin' disaster. Sounds like they got it all ironed out, structurally speaking. I don't know. Maybe something will go wrong. We'll see. At number 6, Sega's in-development Crazy Taxi title announced that they are recruiting staff, and in the process revealed that it is a, get this, massively multiplayer open-world AAA game, Crazy Taxi. The goofy arcade game where you have a timer of like 3 minutes, and you run around and you pick up people and take them to various locations, like a taxi driver. Now, I actually think that's a good idea, as long as they don't screw up the gameplay of the game. Like, if they make it into a highly involved, overly detailed experience, I think that is not going to be a good game. But I also think they're onto something if they retain what makes Crazy Taxi Crazy Taxi. I mean, we've seen a lot of big scale reboots not manage this. Looking at you, Saints Row kind of didn't bother retaining what made that good, or just making a good game in general. But you know, I think Sega's been on the up lately. I'll say that they've I think reached an understanding of what people actually want from them, and they've started delivering it, which is almost bewildering if you know Sega, but that's where it's going. We'll see if this turns out to be a weird mess or a weird mess that's good. I don't know. I'm happy they're making another Crazy Taxi game. And number 5, Dan Houser of Rockstar Games / GTA fame put out there why there isn't a GTA movie. He talked about it, and he let us know that it's because a studio would not give them any control over it. Everybody who came in and decided, hey, I'm going to pitch Dan Houser on a GTA movie, they would come in and would pitch them a situation in which they had no control over the movie. Firstly, in that he was afraid that the movie would come out bad. There was a perception that video games aren't really handled very well as movies. But he also said that times are pretty different now, and that movies coming from games are getting a lot better, and I would agree with him on that. But also, again, do they really need a GTA movie? Does there need to be a movie for it? If they ever made it, I'm sure they would do a good job, because obviously that's what they care about, because, I mean, they don't really have to worry about money. GTA and GTA Online are just licenses to print money, so it's not like they're making a movie for the money. If they ever do it, it's most likely because somebody gave them a really good idea and the right amount of control for it. At least that's what it seems like. At number 4, Hidetaka Miyazaki, the From guy, the big From guy, you know, the guy who makes hard video games for a living. Some people consider them the hardest mainstream games out there. He says that he sucks at video games, which I think is pretty funny, honestly. I'll read you his exact quote. He said, I just want to preface this by saying I absolutely suck at video games, so my approach and playstyle was to use everything I have at my disposal. All the assistance, every scrap of aid the game offers. He was referring to Elden Ring, which he played through the main story of before doing Shadow of the Erdtree, of course. And then he also said all of the knowledge that he has as the architect of the game, he utilized as well, which is, it does kind of make the situation unfair in terms of, you know, what is hard and what is easy. Obviously, he knows a lot more than anybody else knows about it. But, I mean, our man is telling us that he's not even really that good at it. I'm sure he's better than he's leading on, but he says that he sucks at it. At number 3, a guy lost at Splatoon 3 a bunch of times. He just kept losing. He'd play a game and he'd lose it. He was very bad at it, I guess. He lost so much that he decided to send in a bomb threat to Nintendo. Well, actually 39 of them. Not a bomb threat, 39 bomb threats to Nintendo. He is being prosecuted for it, which, you know, makes sense. You don't threaten to bomb Nintendo 39 times and not get prosecuted for it. But in his admission of guilt, he said, the more I lost in Splatoon 3, the more frustrated I would become. My man, I get it. It's frustrating to lose in a game. I do understand. 39 bomb threats is not the path of righteousness. I think around number 10, you cross into no man's land. I mean, 9 bomb threats, it sounds not saying, but not like 39. Or even not like 10, if we're honest. He probably could have looked a little less crazy with less than 10 of them. Which sounds like that is the number of Splatoon 3 games that he won. Way less than 10. He sounds like he didn't win at all. Anyway, that sucks. It's a good thing Nintendo didn't get blown up. A former Halo and Destiny producer said that the live service model is much better for developers and players than the $60 boxed product model. He said the old model incentivizes decisions that aren't in the best interest of players, which is stupid. It's outright, absolutely stupid. Joe Tung, CEO and co-founder of developer Theorycraft Games, is out of his damn mind. Here's the quote. I always felt like in the $60 box product model, I was having to make decisions that were not in the best interest of players. It was in the best interest of how do we sell as many copies in the first 48 hours as we can. One of the huge strengths of games as a service model is that you can be long-term. You can think long-term in terms of what is best for the player and how does that overlap with what is best for the company. I think it allows you to make much, much better decisions overall. And I think that everybody with a brain who has seen how live service games has turned out would say that that's absolutely insane. I mean, I get it. I do understand what he's saying there. The idea that selling the most within a 48-hour window kind of involves tricking players into not reading reviews and getting them to buy the game on hype alone. Sure, yes. But the fact is, the very idea that the boxed product, the finished game that went out, that had been bug tested and fixed to the point where the game actually worked, like let's say Super Mario 64, for instance. Let's compare that to, every live service game. Sorry, but you're wrong, Joe Tung. You're very wrong. And finally, at number 1, a tool called Steam Finder's Pile of Shame can tell you how much you have spent on games and never played them. It also knows exactly how much people have spent on games they've never played, which is $19 billion. That's crazy. That's so much money spent on games that people haven't played. People just bought them and hoarded them, I guess. Congrats on having a license to play that game someday. Well, anyway, that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, @FalconTheHero. We'll see you next time, right here on gameranx.